Good afternoon, everybody. So, I was fast presenting you this at this moment just because we don't have some hours for the rest. So, this is the part most of you know. What I will see you this afternoon is how to pack the reserve into Javelin containers with the long hair method. Between me and you, it can be packed with different methods like the vector method or the long hair method or the method you want. The long hair method for us is the best thing ever to have the base container at the end. All right? With my students, I have sometimes confusions. Long hairs does not mean I have to put the long hairs on this part, the top hand. The hairs are coming from here to here. All right? The thing you have to know is this distance is the exact distance of the reserve container. So when you close your free bag, it has to be almost completely closed on this part. If you have too much fabric outside, it's creating a longer distance than the reserve container. Push the risers covers out, and also on this part, push the AAD inside the main container. So creating a bubble inside the main container and reducing the volume of the main container also. And by the fact, increasing the force for the exit of the main bag. All right? So, from this, you can identify the tools I have. So by my side, I'm using shot bags and clamps, and 4 clamps. For sure, if you use clamps on Optimum or other LPV canopy, use them gently, not to damage the fabric. If you don't have any habits with clamps, doesn't matter. We can practice this also without clamps. All right? So from this side, the objective is to do some reduction folds. So I have to reduce this to fit this free bag. So I'm starting from this side, the right side of the canopy, and reduce in half, a little bit less. Make it clean. I'm doing with the second fold. Repeat again. Half, a little bit less. My third one is shorter, so it's super easy. Then I have my stabilizers. The stabilizers are just doing a S fold like this and keep it open. And then I can finish with my trailing edge. And from your question, if you have some question, feel free to use the microphone we have there. All right? It indicates me that my distance is good, just because I have the line. You see what I mean? If you want to check from the first side, put my bag in the middle, and I have my line there. It's almost at the good size. And to be honest, it works for all sizes. So, this one, doing the same. So looking for my first fold in between A to B, in half, a little bit less. There's no 1 or 2 centimeters difference. This is why I don't advise you to make, like, for example, a first fold and a second one. Fix the middle and a little bit less. Third one. As for the stabilizers and the trailing edge. Short control, not too bad. So, at this time, I did my reduction folds. Objective now is to make a cocoon. The cocoon is to roll a little bit the trailing edge around my folds. So, remove my shot bags. And then I'm pulling just a little bit gently my trailing edge. The target is the reinforcement band on my slider over there. So objective is to just be there. So it's not a big distance. If you have to pull too much, the D line will move this way. All right? So I'm sliding down just a little bit like this. Then placing my knees on my left side. Just a little bit open, the first fold, to make my cocoon. Slowly. Like this. I'm doing the same thing on the other side. So, maintain the side, still maintained by the clamps, but it's so easy for me to put my knees on. Taking the first fold and then making my cocoon. If you see what I'm doing, when I'm making my cocoon, I'm trying to pull gently the fabric from the lines to the canopy to keep the tension on the lines. I attach the risers with a T-bodkin to be sure that we have a canopy completely symmetric. All right, so another check. If you want, take my free bag. It's adapt to my free bag. All right, so if you fix from the RSK to the G8, the different canopy we can put inside on the RSK, optimum 99, on the J8 it's PD 281, you can use the same method for the reduction folds and all the rest also. It's completely adapt. From now, I will taking care of my leading edge. I'm on this side, maintain my right side to taking care of the left leading edge, I'm sorry. Remove my top clamp and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 cells. I will align the opening close to my cocoon. Then put my finger here as a rotation point, open my hand, my left hand, and then place it down. We do the same on the other side. Maintain, remove my clamp. 1, 2, 3. Align, trying to make it a triangle. Put my finger just below, open my hand, then fold down. Easy for the moment.
Perfect.
It's super easy. So, right now, I will use my wooden stick. So, this stick is only done to use on my reserve canopy. If you use it to pull up cord to close the rig, it will damage the sides, create some cracks, and you can damage your reserve canopy. So be sure that you have a wooden stick completely clean without any damage when you use on the canopy. All right? So I will do from now my first S-fold. So I open a little bit my trailing edge, can identify that it's almost a good job. And then, yeah, did a good job. And then to give you some points to identify where to place this, I have the habit to place this here, just on top of the reinforcement of the slider. Taking my grommet and then do the S-fold like this. At this time, 2 things. Do not forget to remove the wooden stick. Place under the grommet and create a space in between the grommets to have the control unit fits in this place. If the grommets, the 4 grommets, are to compress like this, it will create a hard point and push the control unit into the main container. So do not hesitate to open them like this, and you close with the trailing edge. First fold is done. All right? So if some of you check the user manual, at this time we can do the 2 long hairs, then placing the canopy into the free bag. If you have no habit with this method, I can suggest you to adapt just a little bit the method. You take your free bag and you open it completely like this. Taking care of the video. You open it completely like this, okay? Then you take the free bag and you place your canopy here. All right? Take care of the bridle. Make it straight. Then we go for the long hairs. So for everybody who is in this sector, I would suggest to move there. If not, you will see nothing. Just bring the microphone in case of you have any questions. You're the responsible of the microphone.
I can take care of it.
Oh, yes, yes, you can. All right. So from now, objective is to create 2 long hairs. I don't need my clamps anymore, so place them outside. I love this metal stuff on the canopies. So place my knees on the sides of the grommet. Remove this, and I try to feel where the slider grommets are, and I'm going just above them, here. At this time, I will use my fingers to make an accordion with my center cell, like this, by placing my left part of the center cell on the left, my right part on the right. I can feel the stitching of the center cell, the center rib exactly. Then, normally, I have my center cell here. All right? So, can open a little bit just for you to see what's happening. And then, all the fabric I have in my hands can be rolled a little bit gently and placed like this. I keep my center cell opened. All right, so I have my 2 hairs. From now, I have to take care of them. And then I have an articulation point here, just in front of my knee. On this point, I will put my thumb to articulate and then create a S-fold with my hair. Take it. Then taking care of the second one. Make it clean. Front of my knee, articulation point, put my thumb, S-fold. And this time, it's completely parallel. I have to put this fabric into the free bag. So, just bend it like this. Placing it in. And at this time, it's done. So, What I have to do now is to maintain this hole in the middle. We create a valley over there, and then we have to pay attention during all the rest of the job to maintain this valley. I will see you why we want to have this valley. So that's good. So at this time, maintain my freestow. Just to let you know that the freestow is only SunPass made this freestow, and nobody is allowed to make it by itself. You cannot imagine how bunch of material we don't accept at SunPass just because it's not conform. All right, so if you need a freestow, just ask your SunPass dealer or sunpass.com. It has to be delivered by SunPass only.
And the freestow is what? The closing loop here? Or the loop, sorry. That's the freestow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It is a freestow. Okay. So free just because it's a complete loop, and then you see what I mean? Yeah. In case of retention, it's going out. So put it back like this. This is also why I maintain this spot, just because if I pull on this spot, it will go out. So I open my hairs like this, placing my knee. Taking care, not taking some canopies to the stove, make fold. Of the canopy. Then it's almost closed, but I have to work on it. Most of people think that it's done. I can fix my lines and go into the reserve container. But no, if you pay attention like 2 minutes on your free bag, you will have a better result. So, taking my wooden stick and then placing myself on the side and pushing first my canopy like this, and second gently go on the side on the free bag, then rotate to catch the hair and pushing the hair on the top of the free bag. Doing the same on the second part, this way, on the side, rotate and push. Then at this time, I was concentrating on the hairs, keep going on the hole into the valley. So taking care of placing the right fabric on the right side, the left fabric on the left side, and we can identify there's a big hole over there. If I bend, you see it's completely articulated. All right? If you don't want to use the wooden stick on this part, you can go with your fingers. It's the same. Okay? And you see I gently use this stick. I'm not hitting the canopy or damaging the canopy. From now, I don't use this stick anymore. I have to put the lines into their pockets. So this is to protect the Velcro. I have some Velcro there, Velcro tape, to close the pocket where the lines are. And due to the material of these lines, it's an untreated microline. It's really sensible if I put them on the hook. So I open the Velcro, place the protection, one side, second side. So, right now, two solutions. My free bag can go to the rig, or the free bag can stay there, and the rig can come to me. This second solution is okay in case of you have no weight on your rig, and the surface where you are packing is clean and soft. If not, you will damage the container and maybe also all the webbing, the harness. All right, so don't do this if you are not completely sure that the surface is perfectly clean and soft. All right, so in case of this one, I'm happy, instead of this metal pot I found some minutes ago. And for the first, I finish my stow on the right side, so I start on the left side to equilibrate every time. I'm starting vertically, then placing my thumb like this and turn. Maintain my fold. And placing my line gently, try to follow the way of my first vertical part. At this time, I can fix my line with my heel. Taking the extra excess, and I make a fold, but shorter than the pocket. Why? Just because from this part it's in diagonal, so the distance is a bit longer than this one. Maintain the fold. And then placing there. Fixing with my heel. Continue the same. And I'm placing the second fold on top on my first one. I don't push so much. I don't want to push the second fold into the first one. I have to separate 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay? Right side, I'm doing exactly the same on the second stage. 1 and 2. One, two, three. If you can identify them, it means it's good. And that's it. I have almost the distance of the pocket as excess. I need this just because I want to open the risers into the reserve container. If it's too close, they will be like this. So it will not be so clean inside. And with this excess, I can open them gently and with the normal distance. So it's a time to remove the Velcro, the protecting Velcro. So be careful by doing this. There's no lines you can catch with the hook. It's closed because I can see my T-botkin. I remove it. Then, with the tool, I will not use anymore. Like this, no mistake. Okay? So, I used my packing tool. It's over there. So yeah, I put them. Then my T-botkin. Then my protection. So nothing inside the reserve. For the rest, I will use other things. So I will take an aluminum stick. You will see why. Small pair of scissors, some safety thread, false pin, pull-up cord. I can use a Spectra 1000 as a pull-up cord because the cutter is on the bottom of the container, so I don't have to go through the cutter with this pull-up cord. It makes my life much more easy for the end to have a big hole into the closing loop and then to go through the hole with my pin. A piece of 5 cord to put the loop into the smiley. A riffle cleaner for the pilot jet. Then a power tool. And a handle, but you will see why. For the rest, I don't need. So, I'm preparing my stuff close to me. Then I prepped a new loop, a new reserve loop. Remember to change the reserve closing loop every time you have to do something on the reserve container. Why? First, because the old one can have some damage, and then we don't want to have any loop with damage on it. Second things, you are the only one responsible of this closing loop through the cutter. You are sure, because you will do by yourself, that the loop went through the cutter. This loop should have some silicone on it. Do you know why? No? Okay. The silicone helps the pin. The silicone helps the pin to slide more in case of a reserve activation. Okay? Also, because it has to be silicone on like about 5 centimeters, it helps with the grommet, for the grommet to slide and not to retain too much the reserve closing loop.
Does the silicon not attack the fabric of the container or the reserve at all?
No. No. If you check, AirTech, because AirTech was the first AAD manufacturer doing some reserve closing loop with silicone on it, did some test, a lot of test with silicone in contact of the free bag fabric, also on the reserve fabric. If you see, for example, the vector is not only one grommet, but 2 grommets. So you have the loop is going through the reserve. So yeah, there's no issues on this. So placing my reserve closing loop. Then I keep all the excess. I don't cut anything, because in case of my knot slides, it will not create an opening. Just for some, everybody can see. I put the excess down. You can have some javelins with a pre-equipment, this flap to put the skyhook, but without the skyhook on the bridle. If you find this flap below, like this, that is not allowed. It is not allowed to place the flap below the plate. Why? Because of this type 0 grommet. If this grommet is damaged, it's fully in contact of the reserve closing loop, and it can damage by below the reserve closing loop and can create like non-voluntary opening on the reserve. So you have to place this flap above the free bag, not below the plate. Doesn't matter you have the skyhook or not. All right? So this time, take my pull-up cords, and then taking my free bag, taking care of my lines, and then place it like this. Placing my reserve risers flat and in tension, both sides. Take my pull-up cord, then start placing my free bag with the top of my free bag on the really top edge of the reserve container. At this one, I place my knee. Just be careful, because just below your knee, you have the control unit of the AAD. So gently, it's just to fix the free bag, not to be back to the top of the rig. Pull the free bag, taking care of the risers, and then check the lines and fill the corners. My knee helps me just because at this time you can feel that the free bag is moving. From now, I'd suggest you to have a double check on the cutter to be sure that there's no lines wrapped around the cutter, and also my reserve closing loop is not turning around. So it's good. Making 2 folds, left, two folds on the right, and before closing this flap, I will try to place this green line into the green tab. If you place the flap first, you will have some trouble to maintain the skyhook on place. Like this. First pin, then done. All right. So I have this red lanyard to connect to the skyhook. You have a draw on this part, indicate that we have to go above the green tab, then into the hook. We can find some people are doing like this, by below the green tab and to the hook. The problem in this case, we can have some disconnection. So follow the draw. It's super easy. We can identify that the red lanyard is going above the red tab. Like this. Like this. Then, using a piece of safety tie with 4.7 tensile strands, only this, no E-thread, no 5-cord, no super tack, only the safety tie. You go with this thread through the holes of the 2 plastic protections. Do not forget to buy some good eyes. Yeah, here we go. And then, yeah, got it. At this time, by myself, I'm doing a surgeon knot. Why? Just because the first step of the surgeon knot helped me to have a tight knot, and then it's if it's too loose, the red lanyard can disconnect going over the hole. At this time, it's good. So cut the excess, and that's it. All right. Now, I will close the side flaps. So, you remember the valley we create on the free bag? Objective is to place this stiffer plate on the valley. So, taking my pull-up cord, and I will use my left thumb to push the fabric outside, and I'm putting on my pull-up cord not completely horizontally, but in diagonal, to feel this corner. Like this. All right? So we can identify that the corner is correctly filled. Don't be scared. I'm pushing my free bag into. Using my thumb to push the fabric to continue to have the valley. In this case, sometimes I need my handle.
Just asking, how much longer have you got? Just the next session starts in
15 minutes.
the next session literally starts on the dot of 3 o'clock, unfortunately.
I'll start 10 minutes late, so I'm doing my best. Keep going. So, at this time, I try to accelerate it just a little bit. I fold my bridle to equilibrate my bridle on the two sides. Like this, and the part of the bridle there, I will try to put just below the pilot chute to equilibrate the excess of width, of thickness, I'm sorry. Like this. I'm taking care not to turn around the coils. Like this, and placing the excess below the pilot chute. At this time, I have to identify the connection of the pinstripe and the binding tape. I have the binding tape there and the pinstripe there. Objective is to place these two junctions below the flaps. So, chance it's done. Place my hand like this, push on my pilot chute, and placing my knee on my pilot chute, and gently I'm taking care of my pin not to damage the fabric of the pilot chute. I'm putting all the fabric out of the coils. Then, using my magic tool, up, here we go. All right. So, at this time, I have to put the fabric below the pop top. Objective is, you can follow the video for this part of the room. Placing the mesh like this, and then I don't roll the fabric, I just put it gently just below. This time I'm doing exactly the same from the left side, taking care of the mesh, then the F111. Same thing, mesh first, then, because I had the remark yesterday, at this time I don't want to turn the fabric. If you do this, you will have a late opening just because it will create a hard point at this time. So no, keep it straight. I'm pushing this part into my volley and create a T. Maintain my flap, and I'm putting just a little bit my parachute down. Taking this flap, all right. The last flap. First, I will close the hair protection. So I'm using the aluminum stick for this. Do you know why? Because if I use my wooden stick, if it breaks, I damage the canopy, I damage myself, and I damage the rig. So I don't need a hammer. I'm done in 5 minutes. Placing my pull-up cord like this, and make it flat. If you see the beginning, it was a little bit bent. I have to make it up for the video to make it flat and try to place it into its spot there. And this time, record. Gently remove. Then I can take my pin. I don't forget the cable. It's super easy to forget it. Yesterday I made the demonstration that it was really easy to forget it. So placing it. Then paying attention on this part. The pin into the protection. The Velcro on the Velcro. I have a visual on my cable, the pin. I will not remove this just because if I have to do something again, it's still maintained. All right? So this is the really last part I will remove. This time, placing the container on the side, and I will place these two mustache in this box. You have a box created by the two buttocks over there. There's one buttock here, one buttock here. It's creating a box. If the fabric it's in this box, it will be safe for 6 months. All right? So, and you remember, I create a big hole into the free bag. That's for this. For this and for the AAD I have over there. So I'm gently pull with my aluminum stick, not the wooden stick, because if it breaks, you can imagine. I'm pushing it in the box and try to place it down. Same on the other side. You can go slowly into the box and down. Like this. Can snap a little bit. I'm running a little bit, you understood that I'm in a rush. So, because it's round, I have to make it flat. Because my main risers are there. If you close, they have, like this, you have to turn around the container. So I don't want that. So I place my aluminum stick like this. Make it flat. If you want to do this like this, you can use your flat hand. Other side. Control, cable, the pin. I did not take anything from my pull-up cord. The pop top is flat on the side, and this is completely closed. At this time, I remove my pull-up cord slowly because of the friction. Then you can say that's the best rig ever. All right. So, do you have any questions? Same question, my magic tool.
Why not use the aluminium bar for everything? Why do you have the wooden one if the aluminium one is just as strong?
For everything, by my side, you see, it's a small scratch there, just because into the transport, when you hit something or something like this, I don't want to have this on the canopy. I'm only using the side, and I'm checking my aluminum stick every week, just to be sure it's soft. And my wooden stick like this is only used for the canopy, just because of this, only for this. All right?
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the rush at the end.